Welcome to the Vision Gap Show. Align your big idea and vision with a plan of action to resonate and stand out in your market. With your hosts, Andy Halko and Tony Zayas.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Vision Gap Show. Last week we kind of took a peek behind the scenes of Frictionless, just to hear about some of the things that are going on, and how this all comes together and works. This week, Andy, I think we want to dive in and take a look at the web audit feature, which I know has been revamped. It's pretty in-depth, and I think it's pretty valuable, what it can do. So,
yeah, I think all of us, we have our websites. A lot of times we launch them after a redesign, or maybe they've been sitting for a while. And it's hard to go back and think about it because you're busy in the day-to-day. But the reality is, and we say this to every client, is if you're not constantly evolving and improving, you're potentially missing out on great opportunities. And so the big piece here is, how do we speed up and guide your ability to analyze your own website? And so we've really done it where we've tried to make it extremely effortless to go through and understand what's working, what's not working, develop some recommendations, and really just look at how can you continually improve your site.
For sure. And I think a big part of that is understanding, there's a lot of aspects of it, everything from layout and design, it's your messaging, it's how you match up versus your competitors. There's so much to it. And I think that's part of the challenge is you build, refresh a site and then you don't want to come back to it because there is a lot of layers and a lot of complexity. So how does this web audit help with that?
Yeah, so the first place that we start is Frictionless actually will come in and scan your entire site. And so you now have all the pages. For us, we have posts, webinars, tools, shows. We've done a lot of them, case studies, all types of content that Frictionless has pulled out for us, right? And so we can see our homepage and some various other ones. So the great thing is that right now you get a quick overview and audit of your site, shows you when they were last modified, can click out to them and view them. But the real power is going into an audit. And so we'll come into, I just clicked on our homepage and it's already gone through the process, but it will pull in a screenshot so that you can see it. Behind the scenes, it's grabbing all of the content on the page as well to understand it. And it goes through this audit of positioning, design, layout, conversion, content, and grammar. These are the big things that we want to look at. Positioning is first because we want to understand, are we communicating our message the best that we can to our audience? Then we have design and layout, which are much more about, how does it look? What is the structure of things on the page? Conversion then looks at how well are we trying to drive our audience to action on the page. Content is more about the messaging and the specific text, and then grammar gets into that kind of like nitty gritty. Are you spelling things right? Are there better ways to say things? And so I'll just open up positioning here, and we're gonna see the critique of our own website in Civia through Frictionless's eyes. But I actually think that the analysis, it's been trained by us in the back end, that we've really looked at how we've been looking at websites for 22 plus years and helped train how it should pull out ideas and recommendations. And so you can see here in Civia's website, content positions the brand as a dynamic, innovative consultancy in marketing and sales, emphasizing growth and competitive advantage. But then it goes into, however, while the language is assertive, it lacks specificity in detailing how their solutions are distinct or superior to competitors. This could hinder potential clients from fully understanding the unique benefits offered by Incivia. And then it goes into issues. So it's providing the brand positioning lacks that specificity. This next one, there is an over-reliance on buzzwords. Oops. And then recommendations. Incorporate specific differentiators, tell about unique methodologies, proprietary tools, or notable success stories, and then provide detailed case studies or client testimonials that showcase successful outcomes tangibly. I think it's a really good, smart audit from my standpoint. Even on our own website, it's great for us to learn that and say, okay, well, right, we don't really have a lot of case studies on our homepage. Frictionless told me that, and it suggests that I should.
We always talk about Frictionless removing bias, and I think that's a big one. When you're looking at your own website, we look at it, it's like, yeah, it looks good. It clearly tells exactly how we do it, and people should know by the logo. But it's like, no, we look at things differently. Sometimes we're too close. So having this objective point of view is super helpful. Yeah,
I think that's an amazing point. Is Frictionless is this unbiased platform. It's based off of training. It's not built with the idea, the AI, with our own, bias. Design is great. So you can see employs a modern design with clean layout, the use of client logos and testimonials as credibility, blah, blah, blah. And it gives me some issues again on design. Some text sections are dense. The hero section uses a very bold, large text, which may dominate the screen on smaller devices. I mean, you can see how it's getting hyper specific about design elements and then providing those recommendations. Consider reducing the size of the hero text, limit number of logos displayed initially, break up dense text with bullet points. And then we get into layout and goes through that. And then conversion, which I always think is one of my favorites. We all want to figure out, like, how can we get people to move further, faster? So it says we present a appealing design and encourage user interaction. However, conversion actions like forms, buttons, and call to actions could be optimized for better engagement. And it goes through and says they lack emphasis. So CTAs lack emphasis. CTA buttons don't stand out from the surrounding content due to insufficient contrast. I'll look at a section maybe like this. We've got a button and, even though it's a bright color, it's still not enough of standing out because it's got other stuff around it, right? So it really was able to look at some of these things. Form visibility and clarity. The form is at the bottom and isn't clearly differentiated from other content. And so really opportunities to improve conversion there as well. And then the little things, content, writing style, talks about our tone, use of overly aggressive language such as outsmart, outgrow, outperform may alienate potential clients who prefer a more collaborative approach. It's a great audit.
Right.
And then grammar, finally, fortunately, no grammar or spelling mistakes are found. It's because kind of gone through it with a fine-tooth comb, which is great. And so now, again, we didn't see this, but within about 3 minutes, it went through on this page and pulled in all these recommendations. And so what we just talked about a few minutes ago of someone not having the time,
right? Now
you've got the time that you can come in and get a really good understanding of what's working and what's not working.
And you can use your time now, because it only took 3 minutes, to go and actually make the changes, because Frictionless just gave us some work to do.
It did just give some work. The other thing that we've got in here is it'll analyze our performance. And so it's kind of re-scoping it now because we haven't done it for a little while, but it'll tell us how well is the page loading. And so you can see we've got an 88 overall performance here. And I'll just stop it real quickly. And then we can go into key phrases where it'll actually bring out just for this page, not the overall domain if you're on the home page, but what are the key phrases for the page? Links. It'll actually extract the links on the page as well. I'm just going to click into another one real quick. So it'll extract all of the links and let us know if any of them are broken. Also gives us a good view on SEO a little bit, because we can see what the text is that's used for the different links. And so this is a great ability to just get a sense of, what's working, what's not when it comes to links. And it's actually going out there right now and checking all of those links to make sure that you're not getting 404s or other issues that could hurt you from an SEO perspective. So you can see 88 good, and we can kind of look and see if there's one of them that's broken on the page. And then recommendations. So once we've done our analysis and some of our other pieces, Frictionless will take all of that and it's going to put together very specific actionable recommendations for what to do. So you can see increased text contrast for readability, enhanced call to action buttons, redesigned testimonial section. And so it's basically taking a lot of that analysis that we did and giving us a bullet point list. And we can actually turn those into actions where we can say, okay, these are things that we specifically want to do. And then finally, we can actually ask questions. Sometimes, this isn't enough. We want to know more. We've got some suggestions. So I'll just say here, how can the navigation be improved is one that we've got seated in here. Again, you could ask a wide range of things. And now it's taking and it's looking at our design, looking at our analysis, our content, and it's basically seeing how it can find ways. And so now it says, improve the navigation, simplify the navigation bar, add anchor links, improve content organization, gives us some suggestions from that perspective. And then if we want to, we can come in and see all recommendations together. The one that, as simple as it is for me, grammar, issues, and we can kind of see across the site real quickly, what are some things. Obviously, someone on our team has a problem spelling the word summary because it's on 2 pages. We'll fix that, right? But if you want to see positioning issues across the site, so on the home page, here's what the positioning issues were. And then I can click down to our Cleveland page, our AI optimization page. And so now I can quickly see, positioning wise, what are some of the issues across the entire site and audit.
Yeah, this is great. So that big overwhelming undertaking that, a site review, audit, making updates is now broken down into sections. You can prioritize it. You can make recommendations, actions, and then chip away at it over time. So, this is I'm a big fan of this section because it's so usable in so many regards. And again, there's a lot of complexity. This is looking at it from many different perspectives and gives you a lot to make fast improvements.
And I think we've said this with, because you can do similar things in the competitor analysis, but, typically positioning, all of these things, you may need 3 or 4 different people. Positioning right. For someone to audit that is a strategist or high level. Design and layout, you got to bring in a UX, UI expert. Conversion, you got to bring in somebody that understands marketing as well as the human side of it, content, grammar. And so something, again, that not only would it have taken a lot of time, but if you wanted to do it well, you have to bring in 3 or 4 people. You're doing it in a few minutes, you're doing yourself, and you're getting these things that you can then pull together a bullet point list to send to your marketing team or to, work with your agency through whatever it might be. And so really powerful, the speed, the insight. If you want to supercharge your website, this is definitely the tool that can help you just game change and significantly improve what you've got now.
Yeah, there's a good chance that you're not, hitting a 10 from every aspect on your website today. So this is a great way for continual improvement. We always talk about the idea that your website should be a living, breathing thing. It's not just something you build every 3 to 5 years. It's something that you should iterate as the business changes. It should be evolving with it. And this makes that very, very actionable, simple to do, and allows you to get focused.
Totally.
So really good stuff. If you guys want to check it out, go to frictionlesshq.com. Sign up for a free trial. If you want to reach out and schedule time for a demo, would love to walk you through the platform. With that, everyone, thank you, and we will see you next time. Take care.
This episode of the Vision Gap Show has been brought to you by Frictionless. Build high-impact strategy at scale. Create your vision, brand position, and go-to-market strategy, all in a collaborative AI-enabled workspace. Visit frictionlesshq.com to create your free account today.